Good evening and welcome to another live edition of Sports Live. Here with me, your host, Zach Hunley, and my co-host, back again. It's only been a week.
Yeah.
Back again with Tyler Meyer over there.
You know, it feels great to be back. It sucked being away. It's awesome being back here in the booth here. Well, anyway, today we're going to talk for the first 30 minutes from 8 to 8:30 MLB and Twins baseball. From 8:30 to 9, we're going to recap Week 2 NCAA football and preview Week 3. And from 9 to 10, we're going to recap Week 1 NFL Monday night games and then recap Week 1 fantasy football stars and duds and preview Week 2.
We got a lot of good stuff going on here tonight.
Yes, we do.
Well, we're going to start on over in the Major League Baseball as the Twins game just getting started since they had a little bit of a rain delay, I guess. Or a precautionary rain delay, as we call it, because that's kind of what it was. That game will be starting here soon. It'll be Ervin Santana for the Twins against, I believe it's Derek Norris, I believe is who it is. Here, let's see if I can. Daniel Norris, excuse me. There's so many D. Norrises out there, it's ridiculous. So you got those two facing off here, and that game will start, I believe, in like 4 minutes, I think, is the time. In other games, we got the Red Sox and the Orioles playing. The Red Sox right now is just, pounding the Orioles. And, their free-falling season continues as they are losing 9-0 to the Red Sox. Sooner or later, actually, the Red Sox might jump the Orioles, which is pretty sad to say. In a potential, as I call it, probable, actually, I shouldn't even say potential, I should say probable National League wild card game or playing game or whatever you want to call that game that they now do. You got the Cubs at Pittsburgh. Well, if October would be here, that would be the game. The Cubs are right now up 2-0. In the top of the sixth, they have runners on first and second. I believe Jake Arrieta is on the mound tonight, if I remember right. Yes, Jake Arrieta is on the mound tonight again, and A.J. Burnett was on the mound for the Pirates. So that is a potential matchup you could see. I doubt it, but you could see it. You got Washington and the Philadelphia Phillies. I can't even read. The Nationals are up 6-2, and that's in the top of the seventh. Washington needs to just win ball games. Just hope to God something happens, because otherwise they're done for. And pretty much done for. Yeah. You got Cleveland and Kansas City. That one's going into the bottom of the sixth. Cleveland continues the beating on Kansas City. They're up 5-0 right now. The Marlins are in New York to face the Mets. The Marlins up 3-0. That one is in the bottom of the seventh. The Yankees are up 2-0 over the Rays. That one's in Tampa in the top of the sixth. Looks like going into the top of the sixth, the Toronto Blue Jays. I can't even tell what team I'm looking at anymore. The Toronto Blue Jays are taking on the Braves. They are up 7-1. In Arlington, and the game that, of course, all Twins fans are watching, the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. Well, now Houston's in the wild card, so now we vote for Texas to win, which Texas is up 7-0 in the top of the fourth. So that's a game that Twins fans are watching, because if Houston loses, the Twins win, well, they're a half game behind. So it's a big game there. Another game, we got the White Sox and the A's, two of the worst teams out there. So basically the toilet bowl game. That one is 2-1 Chicago going into the bottom of the third. And in Milwaukee, the Cardinals are up 3-0 in the bottom of the third. And then we have a couple games in the West. Of course, all West Coast games will be getting started here later in this hour. So that is your summary, and the Twins, I believe, should be starting here any second, any minute. I'm not sure. It should be any minute, I believe, is what I saw. But I don't know. It's been fun few days here. I mean, a lot of turnaround. I mean, Houston having that 7-game lead, yes, and now they're down to nothing. It's gone.
It's getting real interesting as October approaches here. One thing I'm looking into is the Houston and Texas game. I'm gonna get your opinion, and if any callers want to call in too, you can feel free to do that. But what I'm interested in is I feel that the Twins have a better shot at getting in that wild card as long as Texas keeps gaining momentum and win that division. I don't feel Houston is as big of a threat to the Twins as Texas is. What do you think?
Both teams are ridiculous right now. I mean, yeah, Houston's falling down, but I mean, Texas is right now a team I wouldn't want to play, and they're just firing on all cylinders. And I mean, you got Prince Fielder playing like the old Prince Fielder.
Yep.
You got Derek Holland now back and healthy. You got Cole Hamels, who was traded. Yeah, he's been struggling, but he's still an ace. You got a lot of young kids out there playing. I just don't know. I mean, Houston, I think maybe they've finally reached the peak and has fallen down. Maybe they're starting to hit the good old, as I like to call it, the good old Price is Right mountain.
Yep.
Yellow and all the way downhill. I have a feeling they may be going down that hill, and that's something they thought the Twins were going to do a month ago.
Yeah.
Or even a month and a half ago, and they do fall down that hill.
Yes.
But then they climb right back up, and that's what people weren't expecting at all.
Do you feel with the way Kansas City's been struggling, like, do you feel that the Twins maybe sneak in that AL Central division, or do you feel Kansas City's with their 10-game lead, you feel that they're pretty safe with that lead?
That division was done for in like May. I wasn't looking. They weren't going to lose the division. There's no way. I mean, the Twins, yes, they came back at the beginning of September in 2009 and came back from 7 games behind. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just they don't play They play Kansas City one more time. I believe the year in 2009 they played Detroit like twice, 3 times, and did damage there. I just don't see. I just don't see it. Kansas City's too good to lose more than 5. I mean, they can lose 5 in a row, but they're not going to lose more than that. And it just they had the division won before the season started. Well, I shouldn't say before the season started because I picked Detroit to win, but I mean, I would say once about mid-May hit, I think it was over because they were just up big, and they don't have the one thing is I don't think now I'd have to double check here, but I think the Mets have the highest division lead there, or they did for a while. Maybe that's actually gone now, but they did for a while. Nope, it is still now. Kansas City's back up with 10 games. The Mets at one point did take over by more than what Kansas City did. So I don't know. It's that Kansas City's just been a workhorse, and well, they're continuing to be that workhorse.
True. Kansas City's just they got a bunch of talent. You know, their bullpen, that's nuts.
Yeah, it is a nuts bullpen, and it's kind of nice when you can be a starting pitcher and have a okay game and only have to throw 5 innings, and then all of a sudden, bang, you got one guy after another. You got Herrera, you got Davis, you have Holland in that bullpen. Now, yes, they've been struggling this year, but if they get back and when they get back into the postseason, if they get that bullpen like it was last year's postseason, they're not going to get beat.
No,
because all you do is you go up as a coach, you go right up to your starting pitcher and say, "I only need 5 innings out of you," and then the bullpen can take over.
Yep.
Because all you need is Herrera, Davis, Holland to go right out there and throw an inning. You got. I believe they have Madison out there, too, that can throw a little bit. But and I think they have the lefty still. Lefty out, I believe, Vanderbilt. I believe they still have him there somewhere. I don't know if he's in the majors again yet. He's been going up and down. But they got a lot of talent in that bullpen, and the hitting doesn't stop. I mean, when you get a guy like Morales that can go out and, have 100-plus RBIs after a season where, 2 teams had him and didn't do anything with a big contract. But, yeah, it's interesting there, but Kansas City should just easily walk out with that division. I mean, they could pretty much drop the champagne already, because I believe the elimination has got to be within 9 games. So right now their magic number is 9.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no way it's gonna happen. Other than that, I mean, you got Washington at 10 games. And San Francisco at 11. Other than that, all divisions are wide open. And, I mean, when we're talking wide open, we're talking wide open. So, I don't know. It's interesting, and I mean, I'm enjoying this post. This has been a fun season, just like last year's postseason was. And let's see if the Twins can end this out a little bit. They had you got Torrey. I believe Torrey's in the lineup again, or actually in the lineup tonight. Yeah, he is in the lineup tonight. But I mean, if he can continue to go, and you get these young kids continue to go, maybe a postseason run is in the making.
Yeah, I don't know if you happen to catch that interview with Torrey during the game yesterday, but they were talking about on how after every win, the team goes into the clubhouse and they have a little dance-off party, and Torrey sits there and break dances with all the young guys, and Bert asked him, he's like at age 40, how do you do it? And Torrey just sits there and he's like, with all these young kids, you got to try to have fun with them every once in a while. So on it would have been Monday after their win, Hunter and Dozier were sitting in the clubhouse breakdancing, and they asked Torrey, how do they do that after a loss? And Torrey's like, we sit in the clubhouse and we still play music, but there's no dance party. We play Bob Marley, Don't Worry, Be Happy. What do you feel? How do you feel that makes a team energized after a win or a loss?
Now, during that interview, that wasn't the thing I was worried. I'm worried about. Good gosh, a guy like him. I mean, I wanna play baseball like him if I can go get a massage during the middle of a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I could take a lot of those massages during the game. I get a little stiff out there, and I want a little massage during the game. He sits there and he says, "Oh yeah, I go down and get a little massage." It's like Bert's like, "Geez, they didn't have that back in my day. What are you talking about?" I mean, I'm sore. I'm gonna have to deal with it. It's not like I'm gonna be able to walk around and go get a massage in the clubhouse. No, the dancing is nice. I think the dancing is neat, but I don't know if I could do that. Holy moly, that's a lot of dancing. I mean, what do they got? 4 wins now? 75 wins? That's 75 days of dancing. Holy moly's. I'd be out of dance moves. I mean, who wants to see the same thing over and over? I mean, that's just too fun for them. I mean, Oh my. But Torrey's the laugh stock of everything. He's just the greatest guy out there. That's why they wanted him back, and that's why we never wanted him to leave.
Yep.
But he's one of those guys that is just he's gonna keep everything going. That's just like the new interview when they interview on TV. The whole new thing that they do during that, they throw sunflower seeds on you.
Yep.
And I remember watching that interview and seeing Torrey looking over at Irvin Santana and says, "Yeah, how dare you do that to me?" And just laughing. It's funny to what they do, and I mean to stay loose, and to hear Torrey say that even on days that he knows he's not going to play, to still go out, take full batting practice like he's going to play, run sprints like he's going to play. I mean, do everything like he's going to play. It teaches these kids that are guys that are playing, guys that are playing out there, that you need to go out, and don't matter if you're not going to play that day, you need to stay, you need to warm up like usual, because if you don't warm up like usual, you get into that habit when you're playing, and then bad things happen.
Yep.
But he's been a guy in the clubhouse that's helped this team, and that's why they have 75 wins. But on another note in Major League Baseball, a funny thing happened last night in the Kansas City-Cleveland game. Alex Rios of the Kansas City Royals hit a home run. And, let's just say, the firework guy had one job, and that's to hit fireworks, but not when the opposing team hits a home run. You watch the video and you watch it, you hear the fireworks going off, and the video goes to him, and he just looks, and he's like, "Oh, I'm all mad." It's like, why did I do this? All the people are booing him because, I mean, who wants to hear fireworks go off for the opponent? I mean, it makes the opponent have fun, but I mean, he's just all mad, and I don't know if I'd fire him, but I mean, I'd make him embarrassed for a long time. But that's just how the Cleveland year's been going. I mean, in any sport, it's just been like, ugh. I mean, just for that, I thought that was pretty funny, but. Right now in the top of the first, there is one out. First and second there for Detroit. Santana's struggling a little bit early. They're already throwing 15 pitches, more balls and strikes. So not a good start for Santana. But he tends to calm down there in the second or third inning or so. Well, what else do you want to talk about in baseball? There isn't a lot. A lot of playoff races, a lot of games going on, but we'd have Twins highlights if they would have started on time, most likely. But
Going back to Torrey, does he call it a career after this year?
Does he? If I were him, I'm making that kind of money yet. No, I don't know. They talked about it. They didn't think he would. But, he's got to think about it. He's got to go. He's still got kids he's got to pay for college. They still come home. But I don't know. I know for sure if he comes back, it's to the Twins. It's just it's no-brainer. He's already said that. If he does come back, it's to Minnesota. So for all those other teams that want to call him, don't waste your time because he's not going anywhere else but to Minnesota. But we hope he comes back. I'd like to see him back. And, if he does come back and he does say it's his last year, hope we do something good for him to end his. Have like not as big as Derek Jeter because, he's not Derek Jeter.
Right.
But, have something like that where you have, some things throughout the year to, remember his time. And, yeah, the guy's great. I missed him and, I cheered against him. I cheered that he wouldn't make that catch in 2013 during the ALCS, and he didn't make the catch. But it was good that he didn't make the catch because I wanted Boston to win anyways. No, it's great to see him back in a Twins uniform. It's always good to see him in the Twins uniform, and I like him. I've always liked him though.
Yes,
he's been my favorite. Yeah,
class act. He's like we said, he's great in the clubhouse. He's a good mentor to Hicks. He's a good mentor to Buxton, and any other young guy, not just because they play outfield. Torrey can sit there and teach veteran leadership to every player in the clubhouse. It's not just one or two individuals either.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just one of those guys, and he's I always call it he's Kirby Puckett 2.0. He is.
Yes.
He is basically, you could say he's his son because it's basically a replica of Kirby Puckett. Don't get me wrong. He may not be as good as Kirby Puckett was, but he is basically a mirror of Kirby Puckett.
Yep.
Well, it's first and second, 2 outs in the first yet, and we hope Santana gets out of this inning without throwing 30 pitches. He's getting almost there. We're gonna open up the phone lines here to talk about baseball. You, if you want to call in and have any questions or want to discuss anything that you think is important during this stretch run of the Major League Baseball, you can call 507-537-6350. That is 507-537-6350. We'd love to hear from you and hear what you think about this pennant chase pennant chase, playoff chase. I like to call it pennant chase, but the chase for the playoffs that we have left. I believe we're down to 17 games or so. So we'd love to hear you, and we're going to open up the phone lines to whoever wants to call. We're going to otherwise, we're going to jump in here soon into college football and get into that. And unless you want something else to talk about with baseball, you got anything else?
Not really. Everything
really?
Was kind of covered.
Covered. It doesn't take that much time to cover baseball anymore. It's not as big as it is in the middle of the season when you got trade deadlines and that coming through.
I guess one of the topics we can discuss right now, referring to the Hall of Fame, for baseball, with all the steroid abusers and all this and that. Do you feel there should be some kind of a criteria for the way they look into the Hall of Fame for players? Just say like with Torrey Hunter, if Torrey Hunter took steroids and he gets into the Hall of Fame, do you feel they should not even look at him if he was even linked to steroids? Or do you feel that the Hall of Fame should be based off of just strictly stats?
I can't speak because I vote. I wish I voted. No. At this point, I mean, you got to go with stats because you don't know who took steroids and who didn't. If they strictly go by stuff like steroids, well, the problem is that no one will get voted in the Hall of Fame. Man, they'd better off vote me into the Hall of Fame because they know I didn't take steroids because I didn't play Major League Baseball. But I don't know what you do. I think you just got to go stats. And that's, I mean, I hate to say it because then that makes A-Rod available and Barry Bonds still available. Well, I think he's almost done anyways.
Yo.
But it makes those guys available. Well, we know A-Rod took the steroids, so he probably won't. But guys that didn't take steroids, or cheated the game when there's signs in the clubhouse that say not to cheat, such as gambling like Pete Rose did. Because my mother's listening, and she texted me Pete Rose, so, I have to always bring that up. Yeah, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, but, they're never going to do it.
Yep.
Because, he decided to gamble a little too much. You make all that money and you still gamble away. But, it's, I don't know. At this point, you just go by stats because unless you absolutely have a positive identity that, yes, this guy did steroids, we can't vote him in. You can't do it because you don't know. For all we know, Joe Mauer might be on steroids. Torii Hunter might be on steroids for all we know. I'm not saying he is because he probably isn't, but you never know. It's just one of those weird, kind of freakish things that, I'm glad I don't vote.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
And we do have an update in the Twins game.
Oh, yeah, we don't even want to talk about that. They're already losing. That's just typical.
The Tigers scored 2 runs on a Tyler Collins double on a line drive. The right fielder, Torii Hunter. Anthony Goose scores and JD Martinez. So hopefully Santana, and it looks like Santana got out of the inning, and we will be heading to the bottom of the first, down 2-0.
Yeah, I knew that. They always lose. Or at least they're always losing at this point. They never, want to have a lead going into the game at some point. Better have give them a 2 spot in the beginning of the game. I'm telling you right now, there's still 2 young guys in the middle of the Detroit lineup. Yeah, that Collins and the McCann are guys that the Twins should pick up because they're the ones that can some reason hit at target field. That's how we need it. Who cares if they're big-time hitters? If they can hit at target field, to go get them. No, don't do that, Terry Ryan. Please don't do that. Heavens on God, don't do that. If you do that, I swear to God, I will never watch another Twins game in my life. No. I just want your GM job so I can, go get free agents. Guys like, David Price. Yeah, it's a little money, but,
We have it. We just don't spend it.
Well, no, we don't have it anymore. We gave it to a guy that could only hit home runs in the Metrodome, folks. I've always said that. Don't pay a guy that only can hit home runs in a certain thing. Or if you're going to pay him, you pay him you build a stadium where he can hit home runs. But, that's for another discussion to put up later. Actually, that discussion has far and gone for how many years are we in now at Target Field? It's been a long discussion since then. Well, I guess we're going to take a quick music break, and if anybody wants to call in, talk a little baseball, go ahead. We have the lines wide open. That is to call in at 507-537-6350. Otherwise, after we get back from our quick song break, we are going to hit up some NCAA football, recap Week 2, and preview good old Week 3 of college football. This is Sports Live on Mustang Radio.
For all your sports-related memorabilia, from jerseys to mini helmets, photos, and autographed wall decals, for low, great pricing on all these wonderful objects, contact Justin Jansen on Facebook. You can also check out the wonderful website at www.endzonememories.com.
Gorgeous weekend. Oh my.
Yes, it is.
You can't beat a gorgeous weekend like that. I mean, holy. To have 60? You said 60, 65 on Friday?
Yep.
Jeez, if I didn't already spend half my money, I'd go golfing. Well, we are going on now to recapping Week 2 of the NCAA football season, and then we'll preview Week 3. Going back to last week, it was a pretty decent college football week. You had basically every ranked team win. You had the Auburn 27-20 win over Jacksonville State. Not only did they beat them by 7 in overtime, they dropped, and I've never seen it, they dropped 10 spots in the poll. 10 spots in the poll winning. I've never seen that happen. I've seen 10 spots losing, but I've never seen 10 spots winning, but they deserve to actually drop out of the top 25 if it was beyond me.
Yeah.
Other games, they had blowouts. Ole Miss blew out Fresno State 73-21. Georgia beat Vanderbilt 31-14. Georgia Tech destroyed Tulane 65-10. You had the good close game in Notre Dame and Virginia. Notre Dame winning 34-27. The bad news out of that is that they lost quarterback Malik Zeri, who was a Heisman favorite for the season. So they are pretty much out of the question now unless their new quarterback can somehow bring them to an undefeated season. TCU, they played Minnesota and, barely won, and then they go and play SF Austin and, completely put the hammer to them 70-7. Ohio State only beating Hawaii 38-0. That was close at half. I didn't know if they were playing their starters to start the game or what. It was too close of a game for me. Alabama beating Middle Tennessee, 37-10. Toledo with the upset over Arkansas 16-12. You had Oklahoma coming out on top over number 23 Tennessee. Oklahoma's number 19 or was number 19. They won 31-24. Other than that, they were pretty much every ranked team did win. And then you had the big game, or you had two big games. You had the LSU-Mississippi State. LSU was 14. Mississippi State was 25. LSU came out on top 21-19. And then you had the 7:30 game. Michigan State at home taking on number 7 Oregon, 5-7 taking on. Would they get the revenge? Yes, they got the revenge. Michigan State would beat Oregon 31-28. That was a pretty good game. Watch that game. It was a really excellent game. I liked it.
Yeah, it was amazing. I just want to give a quick shout out to Mike Haslett. He actually was my old RHM at Southwest Michigan College, and he actually just took a job to be a MSU advisor, and I think he's going to be calling in here sometime soon to talk college football. But I texted him and I asked him how.
We don't give shout outs to Michigan State. I don't care how much I don't hate them or anything. It's just Michigan State.
Yeah, I
it's Michigan State.
I texted him after the game and I bet you this is him calling
we
right
do
now.
got a phone call, so let's get him here on the air.
This is Sports Live. Who's this?
How you guys doing? It's Mike.
Hey.
Your old RHM.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I need to mute my computer because I'm hearing myself on replay. That's kind of weird. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. I do have to correct you real quick. It's Malik Zaire for Notre Dame.
I don't know the guy. I just knew he's left-handed and he can throw the ball.
I got to give a shout out to his backup too. He's from my own town. His name's Deshaun Kaiser with the Toledo Central Catholic. Anyway, I'm calling to see what you guys.
He can make the comeback.
Yeah, hopefully for their sake. To be honest, I'm calling to see what you guys think. What would you predict right now? I know it's early on as far as the 4-team college playoff goes. I have a pretty strong opinion, but I want to hear you guys first.
Well, if it's current, as the rankings would put it, it'd be Ohio State, Alabama, TCU, Michigan State. I don't see it changing much. I mean, you look at those 4 teams, you think that you got Baylor there, you never know. You got Oklahoma down there at 16 that I still think is going to win the Big 12 they don't have a championship game, but they'll win the Big 12 outright. Otherwise, outside of that, I don't see anybody else. USC maybe, but I don't think they're back to their dominant.
Sure.
The SEC, they are still the top dog, but they're not as strong as it used to be. I just don't see them getting 2 unless something happens. I don't know, Tyler. What do you think?
I have to disagree with you on one. I see Oregon sneaking in there, back into the top 4.
Well, you gotta have some losses for that to happen yet.
Yeah.
I agree with. I like the top four as it is, and I especially like Alabama and Ohio State. I think the SEC has taken a significant step back from a couple years ago. I do think Alabama's the cream of the crop, even though it's still a strong conference. I like Ohio State a lot. They don't play anybody. They won the national championship last year. They don't play anybody until late November when they play Michigan State, and they get that game at home. My question will be if Michigan State, a one-loss Michigan State, would get in over, let's say, a one-loss Pac-12 team who wins the conference. What do you guys think about that, since they did beat Oregon?
Yes, that's a good question there. It's tough to figure that one out. I mean, the Pac-12 isn't. I mean, they're stronger, but they're not like the top or one of the top ones yet. But I mean, what's going to hurt Michigan State? Yes, they do beat Oregon, but if they lose to Ohio State, what's going to hurt them is they don't play anybody between that.
Sure.
The one thing about the Big Ten. That's why I'm shocked. It ended up working for Ohio State last year, but to me, just how weak the Big Ten is at this point, it's going to be tough to see maybe have two Big Ten teams in there, let alone to have two Pac-12 teams if USC stays undefeated and Oregon sneaks in there. But I mean, it's if they, as I've heard from a lot of people, they said if any conference that has two teams, it'd be the SEC.
Yeah, I sincerely hope that doesn't happen because I watch these SEC teams play and I see Auburn when they went on the road, or not on the road, they went at home with an overtime to an FCS team, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So I just think with the SEC and the bowl performance, I'm not saying the Big Ten is the strongest conference. It certainly isn't. But I do think those two teams at the top, I do think it has the two best teams in the country. I would venture to say Ohio State and Michigan State will beat whoever they play in the postseason, whether it's in the playoff or it's in a separate bowl game. That'll be my bold prediction.
Yeah,
that neither of those two teams will lose to another team besides themselves. Michigan State might lose to Ohio State. Ohio State might lose to Michigan State. I don't think either of those teams drops another game.
No, absolutely not. I just can't see it. I mean, if I want to see two SEC teams, I hope Florida makes a heck of a weird comeback, and if that ends up happening, you'll hear it because I'll be all up over and I'll be really happy. But other than that, I just don't see anything like that happening. And people, all this hype over TCU, they're not as good as they think they are. I mean, you go into Minnesota.
Sure.
You go into Minnesota. Yes, it's Minnesota. But, you go into there. Ohio State did do it, but, that's, the snow's falling, and Ohio State, wasn't, everything last year. But, I mean, to go in against Minnesota, be a big, heavy favorites, and you win by, 14? I mean,
6. They only won by 6.
Or was it 6? That's right, it was 6. That's right, I forgot. I did actually end up, I think I shut the game off after they turned it over there. But I don't know, it's weird. This whole playoff system's weird. I mean, maybe they could go to a college basketball style with it, but I just don't know. You just don't know until bowl week, or not bowl week, until like conference championships come up. What's gonna happen? It's just everything can jump. You never know who's gonna get upset and who goes down hurt. It looks like Oregon's gonna be without Vernon Adams this week. I mean,
is he out?
They're talking he broke. I think he broke his index finger, I think is what he came out and said. You just never that team over there. You don't know what they've got. I mean, the backup quarterback's pretty good, is what I've been told, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, Ohio State, they'll probably be number one because they're stacked and they don't play anybody. So, I mean, and they just got to take my favorite team's former coach to only win a championship, but that's that's beyond the point.
I do got what's that?
Go ahead, Tyler.
All right, I do got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
I know you're a huge Michigan State fan, but how do you feel the Big Ten East and the Big Ten West shaping up for the winners out of those two?
To be honest, as much as I want to say Michigan State's going to win the East, I do think it's going to be Ohio State, and I'm just going to give them the edge because they're at home. Even though that with the way the series has gone the last couple of years, the road teams actually won the last two times. So I'm going to give it the edge to Ohio State, and it's really hard to predict the Big Ten West. I think it could be it could be one of 4 teams. I'm not gonna include Northwestern, so sorry if there's any Northwestern fans.
We don't care about
but
Northwestern.
I think Minnesota actually does have a chance. I legitimately think they have a chance. I think they play at Wisconsin. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hi,
So
no, it's got to be at home.
Is it at home?
Is that one at home?
Because it was on the road last year. Because they went into Wisconsin last year for the chance to win that.
It's at Minnesota.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was.
Okay.
They were
All right.
on the road
I
last
still
year.
like that then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, gun to my head, I think I still have to go with Wisconsin. I don't think they're great, but, and I do think Minnesota would be my second choice, and I really like the direction that Minnesota's taking under Kill. But gun to my head, I'm going with Wisconsin, and I think they'll get destroyed again. It won't be 59-0, but it'll be something like 42-14 or something like that.
You sure? I mean,
Is
Alabama took care of Wisconsin pretty easy.
Is that
I like this Bama team, though. Go ahead, Tyler.
is that prediction based off the Gophers not having a quarterback?
Yeah, it kind of is. I really like their defense, and I like their secondary, and they seem to have a solid running game. You have to have a quarterback.
They have a quarterback.
Doesn't have a quarterback either.
Well, they do have a quarterback. You just he's a junior in college, and he still throws like a high school freshman. Throwing all those. I think I throw just like he does, and I throw ducks.
Right.
All right. So what else did you have from me, Tyler?
Hey, you got all the list of questions over there.
I kind of combined both questions into in the one. I guess I was.
So what do you think about the Gophers? What do you think about the Gophers this year?
Oh boy, that
if they don't win by 21 plus this weekend, I'd count them out of the division.
Who are they playing?
They're playing some crappy team. I don't remember who it was. Who was it playing?
They are playing
some crappy team. I know that much. A lot of people say they win by 50. Kent State. There we go.
Kent State, yeah.
And they're at home. They're 24-point favorites. They got to win by more than 21.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Tyler?
I watched both games, week 1 and week 2. Week 1, I feel like we could have not easily, but I feel like we could have won that game if our running back would have just held on to the ball in the goal line situation there where he coughed that up. But that Colorado State game, our defense completely kept us in that game. We had four turnovers, I believe it was, that we couldn't fully capitalize on. It took Leidner's touchdown pass with 1:19 left, where he actually threw a perfect ball into the end zone with a wide open receiver.
He just can't play in the first quarter. We found that out.
But I don't know. It's rough because not having a quarterback is a big key. And I don't know if I'd really rely on Leidner to pull that out of his butt. Eight more games, whatever.
He doesn't.
I think one disadvantage for Minnesota against Wisconsin, let's say those are the 2 top candidates to win the Big Ten West, Minnesota has to play at Ohio State, and Wisconsin does not play Ohio State.
Yes.
So that's a challenge.
Yep.
And the Gophers don't have David Cobb anymore to run for 200 yards against Ohio State.
That's true.
He carried that game.
Cobb was a beast.
Okay. I remember one last question, as long as you got time, that I was going to ask you too. Do you feel, when we talked about the college playoffs, do you feel that they should open up the playoff field a little bit more and give like 10 teams in, or do you feel that the 4-game is a pretty decent standard?
I wouldn't be completely opposed to an 8-team playoff, and I definitely don't think they should go higher than that. But I do like the 4-team playoff because it still creates validity to the other bowls. Like it makes those other bowls valid. So the Cotton Bowl is still valid. The Rose Bowl, when it's not part of the playoff, is still an important game. I think if you cut it to 8, I think the rest of the bowls almost become meaningless. Some people would argue that they're meaningless now. I wouldn't.
Right.
But I like the fact that there are 2 playoff games at different bowl locations, and then there are 4 other major bowl games. Whether it depends on where it's at, but your list is they rotate amongst these 6, but the Cotton, the Peach, the Rose, the Orange, the Sugar, and the Fiesta. And I like that those are the top 6 bowls, and that's something to play for the teams that don't go to the playoff. For example, Michigan State last year. Let's look at them. Last year, they missed the playoff, right? They deserved to miss the playoff. They lost 2 games. But they still had a great season because they ended up playing Baylor in the Cotton Bowl, and they won.
Yeah.
So they were able to get the opportunity for still another big-time bowl victory, and I still like that. What do you think?
Yeah. I kind of feel like I felt like they should open it up to maybe more, but then again, I agree with everything you said with the 4-game. You know, what do you got, Zach?
No, what do I got? I like it. I like it the way it's at. I mean, you think about it. You go to 8 if you go to 8 teams, now you got whoever wins it's got to play 3 games. That's 3 extra games to play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of games. Not only that, I like this rotation they have with the big bowls, and that's the one thing I like, the rotation of the Rose Bowl and the what was it last year, Sugar Bowl, and then you swap it out and you put in, I believe it's the Fiesta this year, and the Orange Bowl I think is the 2 they're going with this year. Or something
I think it's cotton.
Is it cotton?
Yeah.
Cotton
and orange. Cotton and orange.
So they're just rotating, which I think is a good thing because, as he said, you get those games. I mean, the Rose Bowl, then you go back to the Rose Bowl and not be like, oh, it's a playoff game. Now you actually can have the second-place team that loses in the Big Ten championship could go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Not thinking, well, granted, yeah, that's, sounds dumb because for all these years it was you had to win it and then you were in. But, you make these bowls meaningful. And it shows it. And, I mean, I saw it last year, too, even though, I think I ended up finishing, 10 games above 500? Picking bowl games. So, I mean, they're still meaningful somewhat.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right, well, it was good talking to you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate the call, Mike. And
yeah, no problem.
And I just want to say before you get off air here, I'm sorry about your Tigers this year.
I forgot baseball even existed.
Hey, now, we've had to do that for how many years, man? You can't just stop 1 year.
Hey, good luck. No, good luck to the Twins. I genuinely mean that.
All righty.
As long as Detroit stops, beating us.
Take care, guys.
Yep,
thanks
Mike.
for calling. That was great. That was fun. I like that. That was he's right about that. I just it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I still think Michigan's gonna give Michigan State a run for the money.
Oh.
I hate to say it, but
you didn't have enough guts to say that on air when Mike was in. He called.
I gotta be a little chicken a little bit. I didn't say they're gonna win. I just said they'll give them a run for the money. Because after a while, that Michigan defense with the
Yo.
downhill.
And Speaking of that Twins game,
They're still losing, so it doesn't matter.
but we have an update.
Oh, they did score.
And Eddie Rosario hit a solo shot to give the Tigers a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 3rd.
About time. The guy, I wondered where the pitch was. Probably high and inside and up in his eyes. That's like, he reminds me of my buddy Will Wagner. And stories of what he did. I mean, no joke. The guy couldn't hit the ball when it was down near his feet. Couldn't hit it. I mean, it was, if he did, it'd be a pop-up and he'd be lucky. But by golly, the guy could swing at one up in his head and tomahawk the dang thing to the wall. And I still don't know how he ever could do that. I mean, I could never do it. I mean, I swing at balls in my eyes, and I look at it, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And it's like, he's tomahawking. He used to I mean, granted, this was, 12, 13, 14 years old. But still, I mean, he was tomahawking balls up in the air. He looked like he was chopping with an axe. He wasn't
Jeez.
swinging a bat. He was chopping at an axe. It just was, boom, left center gap. And it's like, you look at him like, what? Why? How can you do that? That's like me trying to pull the ball. I mean, I do it once in, a blue moon. But enough of that story. We'll, as soon as they get a highlight here, we'll show that highlight. And we'll play that highlight and I'd show it. It's kind of hard to show on a radio, but, you get what I'm saying. We'll look at this week now. And we're going to make some predictions, top 25, and then we'll do, of course, the Gophers. We won't do my Gators because we know they're going to win anyways because they're just playing Kentucky and only beat Kentucky the last 25 years. But that's just no biggie. So we got our first game. We got number 11 Clemson on the road at Louisville. That game will be tomorrow night on ESPN. That is, Clemson has a 5.5 point favorites in that game. What do you got? Teddy B is no longer at Louisville, just to let you know that.
I understand that.
he actually shouldn't be playing NFL football right now. If we kind of destroyed him in the bowl game, and somehow he got up and still played. But beyond that point,
I do have to go with Louisville in this game.
have you seen Louisville play at all this year?
No, I haven't.
Okay, thank you. I'm going with Clemson big because I've seen Louisville play, and they are garbage. We'll just put it that way. All right, our next game we got Friday night. We have Florida State University, number 9 Florida State, taking on Boston College on the road. Florida State is a 7-point favorite.
Florida State, there's no question.
For as hard as it is for me to say it, because I am a diehard Gator fan and we hate those Seminoles over there, I got to go with the Seminoles. Hate to say it, but I do. UConn at Missouri. Missouri on Saturday. That one, number 22 Missouri, is at home against UConn. That is a 21.5 favorite for Missouri.
Missouri.
I'd take UConn if half of Missouri wasn't playing, but, they're not. So we're going Missouri.
41-point blowout.
You heard it, folks. 41-point blowout. So when this game is playing, you coming back and listen and remember 41-point blowout. I don't see it that high, but, it might get there. All right, we got Texas A&M, number 17 Texas A&M against Nevada.
Johnny Football's old school, Texas A&M.
Texas A&M is a 34-point favorite, so we're going Texas A&M. Oklahoma and Tulsa. Oklahoma is the 31-point favorite in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. No doubt.
Air Force, can they make the upset going into East Lansing? They are going against number 4 Michigan State. Whoopsie, Michigan State. Michigan State is only a 26-point favorite.
As much as I know Mike is listening, I so want to say Michigan State loses this game, but he would probably.
I'll take Air Force.
But he would fly up to Minnesota probably, and he would probably.
We got to go Michigan State. That's a blank.
Yes.
Here. All right, we'll move on here. We only got about 3 minutes till we got to go to the top of the hour here. Duke against Northwestern. Northwestern on the road. Duke is 3.5-point favorites over the number 23 Northwestern.
I got Northwestern.
I'm going Duke.
Okay.
I'm going Duke. So I'm going Duke. Yeah, Georgia State traveling all the way to Eugene, Oregon, taking on number 12 Oregon.
Oregon, no doubt.
Oh yeah, Oregon is 43.5-point favorites. Yes, we will go Oregon. Big game here. A couple big games in a row here. At home, LSU taking on number 18 Auburn. LSU is 7-point favorites.
LSU.
It is Death Valley, so we go with LSU because no one wins at LSU unless you're Florida or Alabama. One of the two. All right, next game, we got number 8 Notre Dame at home taking on number 14 Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is 2.5-point favorites.
I got Georgia Tech. The only reason is I don't know how Notre Dame's going to respond after losing their quarterback. You want to pronounce that name correctly?
I couldn't even. Whoever he is, we want to believe in the backup. I'm going Notre Dame. I think they're going to win. Number 25, Oklahoma State taking on UTSA. I don't even know who UTSA is, so that's Oklahoma State right there.
Oklahoma State.
Ohio State taking on, the crappy Northern Illinois team. Ohio State's only 34.5-point favorites.
Only. You got to go with the Buckeyes.
We got Troy traveling all the way down to Wisconsin, taking on number 24 Wisconsin. Wisconsin's 34.5-point favorites. Do we take Troy on this one?
Yeah.
No. We both go Wisconsin there. South Carolina traveling down to Georgia to take the number 7 Bulldogs. Georgia's 17-point favorites.
South Carolina. I'm going with it.
Georgia. They got one of the best running backs. USC at home taking on Stanford. Number 6 USC taking on Stanford.
Definitely USC.
We both correct there. TCU against SMU. We go TCU.
TCU.
That's a no. Alabama at home taking on number 15 Ole Miss. Alabama only a 7-point favorites.
Whew. Just for the heck of it, Ole Miss.
You're going the upset. I don't see it. Alabama. BYU taking on UCLA on the road. It's UCLA 17-point favorites.
UCLA.
I'm going with BYU on a third consecutive week with a Hail Mary in the last 30 seconds. Going with it. 2 in a row. We're going 3 in a row. We're going BYU with an upset. Fresno State at home taking on number 21 Utah. Utah's 14-point favorites.
Utah.
And then you got, I'll go Utah too. And then you got number 20 Arizona taking on Northern Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, we'll both go Arizona. And then, of course, we can go with the Gophers with they're playing crappy Kent State. And the Gophers are 24-point favorites, so we'll both go Minnesota on that
Go,
one.
go, go, Gophers.
Well, that's going to do it for this top of the hour. We're going to quickly go on a disclaimer break, and we'll be back in a matter of moments, and we'll get into our favorite topic. Oh, we'll go into our favorite topic. We'll start NFL football here coming up. We'll be back here in a few seconds. This is Sports Live on Mustang Radio. We are back here live on Sports Live on Mustang Radio. Before we start quickly into our NFL, we're going to quickly we do have the highlight of Eddie Rosario's home run, which looks like it was a deep one. Here it is.
There's a drive to right center field. J.D. Martinez going back. That ball is gone. Rosario does it again. Number 10 on the year.
Such a sweet swing.
As you heard, Bert, such a sweet swing. I mean, holy moly, the guy's good. So that was to the second deck into right center. The Twins are down 2-1, though. We only are in the bottom of the fourth, so there's plenty of time to score one more run. And then the other game there, Texas up 9-1 in the bottom of the sixth.
Ouch.
So it looks like Texas is going to have a game-and-a-half lead in the division, and we are going to be a half game if we can make a comeback. I don't know if that's going to happen, but you never know. You just never know.
No, not with the way teams have been falling out.
Yeah, you just never know. So it is our time. It's the time of the night. It is our favorite story to do. It is NFL time to talk. We did get through week one by the hair. Barely did we get through week one. I don't know. It was troubling talking on Monday.
Went through
show Monday.
Went through a 52-inch TV on Monday night.
Yeah, when you got someone that, decides to get a little mad and throw his 52-inch television off the wall, that's only, Tyler decided to do that, which, I'm not dumb enough to throw off a TV because I know, it's game one of the freaking season. Yes, they play like crap, but, you can, I know you play like crap in fantasy. I've been told that one. So we'll get to that later. We'll hear that later.
Got lucky.
I'm just saying I've never lost to a lady in fantasy football. So I'm, I'm just, I'm going to set that straight.
Got lucky. Got lucky. AP only had 31 yards. That's all I got to say.
Oh, you were betting on AP to get 60 points for you, man. You got a heartbreak, man. At least I only had to worry about like 6 points. It still gave me a heart attack going into the second half. But wow, what a week one. I mean, we're going to recap Monday night's game as we did on Monday, recapped all the other games. Monday night, the first game, of course, was the Atlanta Falcons against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Atlanta Falcons was able to come back and beat the Eagles and, take care of Sam Bradford's debut with the Eagles and beating them 26-24. Matt Ryan did throw for 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, but threw 2 picks. So did Bradford. He had 336 yards, 1 TD, and 2 interceptions. Julio Jones had 9 receptions for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. And why did I not bring him back for fantasy is beyond me. But, that just happens. Jordan Matthews also, he ended up having 10 receptions for 102 yards. Leading rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles was DeMarco Murray. Not. It was Darren Sproles with 5 carries and 50 yards, folks. Yeah, us Eagle fans, we spent so much money on him. And what does he do? He's not even a freaking leading running back. He finished with, and I'm going to go dig for it, he finished with 8 carries for, get this, 9 yards.
Oh.
9 yards, folks. Paid 30. What did they pay? $35 million for him?
Yeah.
He got 9 and lousy yards. Gosh, we could give you Matt Asiata for that. You want 9 yards? He can give you 9 yards. Holy moly. 9 yards and a touchdown. His longest run was 8 yards. Holy molies.
Wow.
Either he stinks or Atlanta's defense has gotten better. One of the two. I don't know. I mean, he did still score in fantasy. And, he did. So,
the problem I see there is you said they only gave him 8 carries?
No, yeah, it's 8 carries. But it's
that's just like giving AP only 10. How do you get going on 8 carries?
He doesn't have Dallas's front 7.
That's true.
Dallas front 7, Philadelphia's front 7. They're too mighty different. That's like asking me to guard a guy up front and asking a real lineman to guard up front. They're two different
Or
things.
asking you to guard J.J. Watt.
No one can guard J.J. Watt. You ask me to guard J.J. Watt, I'll just let him go freely right away. I'll give him a handshake and let him run because because if he does hit me, I'm dead. And as we saw Sunday, he don't even need a freaking helmet to sack a quarterback. So it's scary. And then the game, well, we were hoping the game of the night. San Francisco taking on Minnesota. Well, that was a 20-3 defeat. Just don't throw anything now, Tyler. No throwing anything. Because I don't want a computer thrown at me. Teddy Bridgewater finished with 23 of 32 for 231 yards and an interception. Colin Kaepernick finished with 17 of 26 for 165. Adrian Peterson finished with 10 carries and 31 yards, or we can call him Carlos Hyde because Carlos Hyde had 26 carries for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. That sounds like AP there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't AP. Mike Wallace did end up leading the receivers with 6 receptions for 63 yards, so a good opening time for him in Minnesota. And of all people, Vernon Davis led the San Francisco in receiving with 3 receptions of 47 yards. Very crappy game, let's just put it that way. I don't know if you can even call it.
It was honestly crappy. Well, besides the running game of San Fran, that was honestly somewhat of a crappy game by both teams.
It was garbage.
It was boring. All the penalties.
And then, of course, I hope, I wish, Vikings ownership would be listening. You see what Washington's doing? They're asking their season ticket holders to, kick the ball. Maybe to find a kicker there. Maybe you should start doing that. Because Blair Walsh, as I called it when they drafted him, 3 years ago?
Yep.
He was going to be nothing. Oh, yeah. Oh, everybody. Oh, he had a big year. He's everything. No, he's nothing. He can't kick.
Yep.
He's got something in his head because, that first kick he had was 10 yards to the right. I can kick it closer than that, even though it wouldn't go in the middle. But, I can kick field goals better than he can at this point. It was bad. It was ugly.
They gave him that big extension.
It gets to his head.
Big extension this summer during camp. I was actually at training camp.
You didn't touch him, did you?
I did one time.
Well,
He
there
shook
it
my
is,
hand.
everybody. Tyler. That's the reason why he's kicking like crap. Tyler,
But
blame it on him.
I was actually there when they announced his contract extension, and the whole training camp went crazy, and it's just nuts, and I sat there and I was like, you guys, he only had one good year, and everybody's like, no, he's the next Gary Anderson. Well, keep in mind Gary Anderson did miss that kick in '98. I don't feel he was.
He didn't just miss the kick. He did. He just decided. Well, I'll just make every kick in the regular season, but when it comes down to the NFC title game, we'll just miss the dang kick. That's
true.
He's no Ryan Longwell. Let's put it that way.
No.
Ryan Longwell was the best thing that the Vikings had. But that's old time sakes. But again, we're opening the phone lines. Talk about what your guys' thoughts were on the Vikings game on Monday night. You can call 507-537-6350. We are going to start, because we got, let's hear, it is 9:08. We're going to talk a little fantasy football, everybody. And best game out there. Best game out there. You can't beat fantasy football. But we're going to start with we're going to do our segment, as we call it, as I like to call it, Studs and Duds. Fantasy football studs and duds for this week. We're going to start at the quarterback position. And as soon as I can get every player up on here, we'll get that started. Oh, my. We got a caller, everybody.
Boy.
We got a caller, everybody. See who we got on the air.
Sports Live. Who are we speaking with?
It's Chaz Sellers, Mobile, Alabama. What's going on, guys?
How's it going, Chaz?
Doing great. Doing great.
That is fantastic. How did you feel about matchups for fantasy football this week?
There's a couple of matchups I like, and there's a couple I don't like this year. This week I'm avoiding all Green Bay players, and that's including Aaron Rodgers. He has not played well versus the Seahawks over the last 3 seasons. And I think they, especially missing Jordy Nelson this week, obviously for the whole year, but, guys like...
Well, he's only out for
Adams.
this week?
No, shoot.
Oh, you got my hopes up, man. I drafted the guy. I thought maybe, yes, I'm getting him back.
Oh, no. Jordy Nelson, one of my favorite players.
That's what happens when you have the draft, 4 weeks before preseason starts.
Oh, man, that's awful.
Yeah, well, I did win my first week, so, I am happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with any Packers either. Yeah, they might win the North. But with the way they played against the Bears, the Bears the Bears shouldn't even been in that game. They made Cutler actually look like he was somebody, and Cutler's never like that.
Hey, he has been somebody. He has been somebody. Give it that.
Yeah. Yeah, Seahawks just seem to have Rodgers' number. I know they're missing Cam Chancellor. Dan Quinn going to Atlanta. Seems like he knows what he's doing down there in Atlanta after watching that Monday night game. But, some say the Seahawks defense wasn't the same against the Rams, but, man, the Rams played them good the last 2 years.
They did.
The Rams are good.
I think they have a 500 record against them.
Wow, now they finally have a quarterback now, which is what's going to help them. I mean, and then they got a running back coming. I mean, they're a good team, and, As I said on Monday, I'm like, well, at this point, throwing the ball at the Super Bowl was the right decision because they sure couldn't get 1 yard on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I have beast mode on my team, so,
Oh.
And that is actually a big matchup that they say. That's going to be a big matchup because Marshawn Lynch last year at home, granted, he had 20 carries, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's taken on a Green Bay defense that not only gave up 30-some yards and a couple touchdowns to Matt Forte. I mean, he's going to be the big running back of the week, I have a feeling, on fantasy.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. I also feel I think AP bounces back. He came out and said in an interview that he was hesitant on running out of the shotgun. He said he wasn't able to get the full head of steam that he's able to when you run out of the I form or the single back set. So I think Norv's going to open the running plays up with him a little bit more and allow him to run how he's comfortable and not have to be hesitant running out of that shotgun. Do you feel, Chaz, that the shotgun or the run out of shotgun slowed down AP at all? I know we talked and you said that he still looked good. But do you feel if he was out of the I form or the single back set, do you feel that AP would benefit from that?
I do agree. I mean, you want a guy who's been in the league for 7-8 years, and you want to run the plays that he's more comfortable with. Messing with their vision, their timing, gets to see more back there lined up off I form. Personally, I thought he still had the explosion when he hit the hole on his few carries from the I form. I thought he looked great. Still slippery and elusiveness, and had his power. I mean, remember that one run where he drugs?
Yeah,
with 3 people for 7-8 yards. I mean,
But there was the big thing, the holes. He had no holes to run. That's why he only got 10 carries, because they knew that. Yeah, he may be AP and he may be God, but the guy still needs holes. Because anybody look at Marshawn Lynch. He had 60 yards. He didn't have any holes. You got to have holes to run the ball, and he did, and that's why they had to. Now, granted, they should have ran a couple of times because you got some offensive linemen, some odd reasoning, standing behind the quarterback. We don't know that, but we got to ask T.J. Clemmings that. What are you doing behind the quarterback?
Yeah, that was pitiful. I've never seen.
Is that when you throw the TV?
No, I threw the TV when Bridgewater actually threw that pick late in the game.
He didn't throw well at all when it came down to it.
Do you have any other big matchups there, Chaz, that you're looking at?
I was going to mention a couple of waiver wire pickups that I like this week. Brandon Coleman down in New Orleans.
Yep.
With Jimmy Graham being gone and them not having an established tight end, man, Drew Brees is really looking for him in the red zone. I watched the preseason games, and they were looking for him
as long as he just
the primary read in the red zone. He had a couple of chances Sunday. He wasn't able to haul one in, easy catch, hit off his fingertips in the red zone. He did get one touchdown in, but I think he's going to be able to get some red zone targets down in New Orleans.
As long as Brandon Cooks gets more targets and catches and yards and touchdowns, then I don't mind.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks was missing from that game.
Well, and you got Patrick Peterson
5
on
catches,
you. Patrick Peterson makes the deal. He was throwing to it. I think he said they were throwing at 11 times. I think he just couldn't find anything. Well, that was weird, but But any other waivers that you're looking at there?
I think I'm gonna give Marcus Mariota a chance.
Oh yeah, you have to.
I think that was a fluke. Beyond me.
Well, the thing is he was playing Tampa's defense too.
Well, yeah, anybody can
And
beat Tampa's
he
defense.
doesn't have much of a stronger defense that he's facing this week either. So
No.
I honestly feel you have to go with Mariota if you're looking for a quarterback.
If you're looking for a quarterback week 2, there's something wrong. Unless you have Peyton Manning, then I totally understand.
Exactly. If you get one of the Manning boys, you might need to change your plan.
Either one of them. One that I actually did pick up was Tyler Eifert from Cincinnati. People say he's going to be a sleeper. Now, on the other hand, I needed a third running back, so I picked him up and traded him for Doug Martin. But that's just me. I needed a third running back to at least establish some kind of running game. So, I mean, with a guy like that, with what he did, you kind of had to think about it and be like, well, could this be his ceiling? And that's what I think. Maybe this was his ceiling. I don't think he's going to do much more. I mean, granted, he is the second guy on Cincinnati, so you never know. He is getting a lot of targets, but you just don't know what tight end. I mean, it was a big tight end week. It was probably the biggest one I've seen in years.
Yeah, with Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce exploded.
I mean, it was as big, and I mean,
Jenkins.
Yeah, it was big. Well, Jenkins, he needs to grow up because I mean, why are you like one hopping and showing off going into the end zone when you're down by 38 is beyond me. But
Yeah,
that's just me.
They've been losing for a while down there in Tampa Bay.
They're gonna lose for a long time when they have.
Another thing about Tyler Eifert too, they did play Oakland. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's true. I don't even remember who. Oh, Baltimore's playing Oakland, which I had Steve Smith last week and he sure didn't do anything. I'm expecting about 15 points out of Steve Smith this week. Because I have a feeling right now, after what Baltimore did, I have a feeling they're just going to air out on Oakland. I was going to say Oklahoma for a second. They're going to air out on Oakland because, number one, I think they lost, their starting safety. I think they lost. They lost Woodson, I think, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're down to, nothing, and who knows with that team.
Yeah, that's a team I'm going to be looking out for on Sunday is Baltimore. I'm interested to see how Tressman's going to do game 2. Because that game was ugly to me.
Yep.
The Broncos-Ravens game. Very sloppy game.
I mean, they just
was on a lot of...
Baltimore did some good things. The problem is not Cutler. Flacco, Cutler, they could be the same, I guess. Flacco just didn't he didn't have time. He had no time in the pocket.
Nope.
He was trying to, throwing the ball, just trying to throw it and get it out. And, there wasn't neither team had any time. it was like, it was. I watched that game, and I don't think I've ever felt more sleepier than watching that game.
Yeah. How do you feel about Amari Cooper this week, Chaz?
Man, I'm just not on board. I'm not on board yet. I want to. He's got to prove something to me before.
Who knows if he has a head anymore?
Before I get him on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel that Pac-Man Jones should be suspended for the bashing his head off of Cooper's helmet?
No, I think that was a little.
That's a little up
overreaction. I don't think he really bashed him, but football's a violent game.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah, it's turned more into like a 2-2 game. We're finding guys. I understand the hit to the head. That I have no problem with, because that's life and death there, hitting to the head. But come on. A little. I understand Tom Brady, tore his leg because he got hit low. What do you want him to hit the quarterback low? Hit him low. Let him play the game a little more. Granted, the Vikings did get screwed out of pass interference, but these refs are. I don't know. The game is. I don't know. I think the game has gotten a lot softer in the last several years.
Yes, they've made it harder. But to me, in my opinion, that is these guys are superior athletes, and they're able to adjust. And you see, it seems like they're able to maneuver their bodies and hit these guys in that safe zone. The target zone is what they call it, more accurately nowadays. You see less penalties with that area.
Okay, yeah. Well, Chaz, it's wonderful to have you call in again. It's awesome to have repeat callers.
Besides that, you're from Alabama. Besides that,
yeah.
I can't. I don't go for the University of Alabama. So
Yeah.
don't hold that against me.
But
I
just
graduated
just
from
a
Auburn.
just a quick thing. What's your biggest game
Yeah.
you're looking forward to this week?
This week, in the NFL.
Yep.
I'm looking. I want to watch the Philly game again. I want
Okay.
to see the Eagles Cowboys go after it. I really enjoyed watching Chip Kelly this past week on Monday night, so I'm gonna try to tune in again and see if Bradford and them can get on a roll, man. I want to see him put up 40, 50 points.
Oh wow. Okay.
I want to see him do it.
Alrighty. Well, once again, it was nice to have you, and we hope to have you call in again. Which, at the rate we're going, we're just gonna have you be a regular call in.
All right, guys. Well, it's good talking to y'all again this week. Enjoying the show.
All right.
Good work, man. Talk to y'all later.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
God, he's always fun to have on.
Yes.
on. It's always great. So back to, again, if you guys anybody else want to ever call in, it's 507-537-6350. We'd like to hear from you about any NFL, fantasy, or what. As we start our studs and duds segment here on fantasy football. What are you laughing about over there? Something bad must have happened. Or did they tie it up?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say they tie the game up. I mean, you're laughing over there.
I just have something over the top of my head that I'm kind of worried about.
Well, you're always worried about everything. All right, so we're gonna start quarterbacks. So who is your stud from Week 1 in fantasy of the quarterbacks?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I like that. That's actually not a bad choice. I've got to go with my quarterback though on my team, Tony Romo.
Oh yes.
I mean, for a guy that comes back like that and wins that was good to use Studley of him that does that and got me my points to win. So that makes me happy. You're dud at quarterback.
You know it.
Uh,
Probably Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, going with Teddy B.
Granted, he threw for 230, but it was a bad game. Granted, he had no time to throw either, like we talked about a line. But he threw a pick off his back foot, trying to lead Rudolph. It looked like Rudolph kind of quit running on the play. I don't know if it was a miscommunication or if Rudolph was just like, this game's done, there's no point. But I don't know what it was exactly. But yeah, my dud would have to be Teddy. I honestly thought he was gonna have a bigger game.
Have a bigger fantasy game.
Well, that
Yeah.
too.
Well, that's what we're talking fantasy.
Yeah,
wise,
I know,
yeah,
but
okay.
I'm meaning
Just
like,
making sure. Okay, my dud's Peyton Manning.
yes.
I mean, granted, yes, I didn't have him. My buddy Gabe did have him on his team, and the team I beat. So, we got a caller in. This is who we think it is?
I think so.
All right, we'll see if that it is. And if it is, we're going to have a party here.
Sports Live.
Hello.
Oh, look who it is.
Hello, how's it
Yes.
going today, Tina?
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Doing great because I'm still not lost to a female in fantasy football.
Ask Tyler if he's got the same kind of record.
What's that?
Ask Tyler if he's got that same kind of record.
I do not have that same type of record, unfortunately.
You know,
Tyler, you had 5 guys playing. I had nobody left. All you needed were 70 points.
Yes,
that's all you needed was 70?
That's all I needed was 70
Out of 5 guys.
out of 5 guys.
I got that. I got that at the noon games.
Yeah, it came close
Well, you
towards the end there, but then that late touchdown with the 49ers, kind of with the Vikings defense, that kind of
Well, that's number
Ended
one.
it.
I wouldn't have the Vikings D as my defense.
I'm not going to razz you about it. I'm just going to say you're what's the word I want? You're very dedicated to the Minnesota team. I'll put it that way.
yes.
You're dedicated, but let's just put it this way: you may be dedicated, but you don't be dedicated to half your fantasy team with the Vikings, please. Darn Lord. My buddy, who's a diehard, and he's our commissioner, is a diehard Vikings fan, but he doesn't have half a team. He's got maybe one guy. Usually
Yeah.
that's Adrian Peterson. But no,
Hell
you
yeah.
don't put half your team as Vikings unless they're going to go undefeated.
Peterson couldn't even do anything. I mean,
No,
but
that-
yet he had probably more points than a lot of your guys did.
Yeah, that's true. It was definitely frustrating because you called it on last week's show that you were gonna beat me, and I thought you were crazy. But with the way the Vikings performed, I was kind of screwed. especially when AP didn't go for 20 like I kind of bank on every week with AP because, he normally gets 100 yards a game at least.
That was a year and a half ago, my friend.
And a touchdown or two. Yeah, but he's still AP.
It's an hour. Now the question is, did you lose to her, and does she have a bad team? No, that's the thing. Or does she have actually a good team?
She's actually got a good team.
She got a good team?
Yes.
Are you bluffing me just that,
I'm looking to,
What's that, Tina?
I'm looking to improve all the time. I've got some trades in the works, so.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy, that's not good.
Ooh, man, I made my one trade, so I'm good. I got my one trade in.
You want to...
I'm picking up Romo.
Oh,
Good.
boy.
There we go. Who's your starting quarterback right now?
Oh, yeah, I'll be starting once I get him.
Who was your starter? But who was your starter in week 1?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm from Michigan. I got to start Stafford now and then, Especially when I know it's going to be an easy game and he's going to win.
San Diego was supposed to be easy, but, that didn't turn out that way.
It didn't quite work that way, but it was enough.
Yeah. Yeah, to answer your question there, Zach, she's got this week she's got Stafford, Charles, Abdullah.
That's why she beat you. She had Abdullah.
Demarius Thomas, Randall Cobb, Kelsey, Golden Tate, Janikowski, and the Rams defense.
She had the Rams defense last week?
Yes.
Well, now I understand why she beat you, because you got nothing compared to what she's got. I'd take her team over your team for every year.
Okay, but I am trading off Abdullah, which I'm not real happy about that, and I'm trading off, who else is it? Rossberger. I'm picking up Romo and Kelvin Johnson.
Oh.
Which Johnson may be a little iffy.
Yes.
He's always iffy.
But he is going against the Vikings defense this week.
Yeah, so I guess just jump up a little bit. He's got him.
Jeez. How do you get it?
Anyway.
How do you get Tony Romo and Kelvin Johnson in a trade? I couldn't do that in my league. In my league, I'd have to give up my whole freaking team to get 2 stars. That's just how we roll, though.
Somebody wanted Rossberger pretty bad. And then Abdullah, he could turn out to be something pretty good.
What was that person that wanted Roethlisberger really bad? Is that your son, David?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, then that's easy.
He posted on our group page, and he said that he was looking to get rid of Peyton Manning. He didn't care anymore. He said it wasn't because of the game he had, but he'd just go in a different direction.
Yeah, there's no way I'd pick up Manning anymore.
No.
Now I understand if I have kids, I make sure they're in the fantasy league and I can get easy trades.
Abdullah, it was his first pro game and he scored 22 points. So.
Yep.
Yeah, AP did that too in the first,
So I think that he's somebody to keep an eye on for the Lions.
Yeah, he is.
He's good. He's good in Nebraska. He's good. I wanted him, but my buddy popped in there late. I was trying to get him late as possible.
Yeah. But anyway, Tyler, I hope to meet up with you again on fantasy.
Yeah, sounds good. Hopefully it's for the championship and I get revenge. But
with the team you have, you'll be lucky to make the toilet bowl.
But yeah, it was nice to have you call in again and rub it in a little bit. But
just to let you know, the casino up here is giving out prizes for the lowest fantasy score. You might want to get in on that.
You might want to get into that. I mean, when you have 5 Vikings on your team, you're gonna get the lowest score.
Yeah. I don't even think I broke 100, to be honest.
Hey, I had a rough week and I had 94.
Oh, he had 120.
120, okay.
Oh, come on. What are you playing? PPR?
I think so.
Yeah, see, there's the thing. You got PPR and you probably got more points than we have. See, we play low points. I don't like it, but, I'm not the commissioner.
I don't know what we're playing. But anyway, I just thought I'd give a call.
Yeah, I knew it was you calling, too. I had a funny feeling.
I know when you were laughing, I thought maybe that's what you were thinking about.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of because I knew it was getting close, and I'm like, oh boy.
I couldn't let you down.
I know. But all right, well, thanks again, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
Oh, I'm sure you will. All righty. Bye.
Bye.
What a great conversation that was.
Yeah. Yep, it still sucks.
Well, yeah, when you have 5 Vikings on your team. But we're going to take a break. We're going to take a quick break here. do all of our PSAs and everything, get that in. And then we'll come back and continue our studs and duds, and then we'll get into our picks for week 2. Again, we'd love to hear your calls during that time. That's 507-537-6350. We'll be back on Sports Live here on SMSU Mustang Radio. And I think the weekend's supposed to look nice, so.
Yes, but nice and cool.
Nice and cool. I don't have to dress, or I don't have to sleep, without anything. I mean, geez, it's been hot. It's been hot where you got very few clothes on and you're trying to sleep and, and then it's kind of, it's not easy. All right, so we are back to our studs and duds. And we already did our quarterbacks. You took, I don't remember.
Studs, I took
you took
Tom Brady.
No, you took Brady and then you took
Bridgewater.
Bridgewater's your dud. I took I don't remember who I took. Oh, Mariota. No, I didn't take Mariota.
I think you
I
took.
took Romo. That's right. I
Romo
took my boy
and,
Romo, and then I took Peyton Manning. So now we are on running backs. Who is your stud at running back this week?
Carlos Hyde.
Gosh, you just enjoy taking care of that Vikings game. Yeah, Carlos had a good game. I'll take that, but I'm gonna have to go with Matt Forte. I think Forte, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pretty big game out of him. I believe he ended up having the most points, if I can hopefully find. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it on here. I thought he did.
I think Hyde had
had
more yards rushing. I know that.
But it was pretty good up there. So, 2 good ones. Who's your running back dud of the week?
Well, with the stat you gave me at DeMarco Murray, I'm going to have to go with Murray. I thought AP was going to be the dud this week, but
he may have been the dud. He may have been dud stat-wise, but he did have quite a few points yet. I think he still had 12, 13, 14 points. Gosh, I can't even think of a running back who was dud this week. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think here. Gosh, I can't even. Lamar Miller, there's one. Lamar Miller struggled. That's right. I watched that Miami game. Didn't really get. He got some touches, just didn't do much with it. Wide receiver, who's your stud? And again, if folks want to chime in on their studs and duds of the week, 507-537-6350 is the number. We'd more than happy and glad to hear from you on your studs and duds.
Julio Jones.
Oh, gosh, was he a stud, man, this week? We're going to have to agree. I like Julio on that one. I didn't have anybody that had any more. So, who's your dud wide receiver?
Once again, I'm going to go with a Viking.
Why, because he was on your team?
No. Charles Johnson.
He wasn't expected to do anything.
He came in last year and put up a lot of fantasy points for the weeks he came off the Vikes. Once we signed him off the Browns practice squad. But he came in supposed to be the Vikings' #1 receiver, and I think he had 1 or 2 catches. That was it.
Well, my dud's going to be one of my fantasy players. I hate to do it, but he is because he was a dud. Steve Smith Sr. Got some chances, tough, but, 1.8 points is not going to do it when you're the #1 receiver. So that's going to be my dud of the wide receiver. Tight ends. Who is your stud? There are too many to choose from.
Travis Kelce.
You got Travis Kelce. I'm going to go with the man, Rob Gronkowski, because he had just a ridiculous week.
But that's kind of expected from Gronk.
How was there? Could we say there was any duds at tight end? Besides Rudolph? The tight end this week, I'm telling you, was probably the highest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I even had questions at tight end. I still got 8 points out of Heath Miller.
Yeah, that's getting 8 points out of Heath. That's
a normal week. Come on. That's why I bring him in. Maybe you could go Dwayne Allen. He had 5, 6, 7 points, had a touchdown. But it was pretty, it's pretty high week for tight ends.
Yeah, it was.
Let's put it that way. Defense, who's your stud? There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
I would go with Rams defense, being able to hold down Seattle. And
now you're just sucking up, aren't you? Yeah, look at the call. Sucking it up, Tina. He's sucking up.
Yep, you hold Seattle to the loss. That's pretty studly defense right there.
It's studly defense, or you can win, with Baltimore or Denver with 2 stud defense perform. I'm going Miami. Miami had a stud week. Yeah, they gave up a few points, but, you know, they're going to have another big week, and there's a reason why I drafted them. Your kicker, who's your stud?
Just got Janikowski.
Janikowski. He did something this week? I didn't know he was still in the league.
Not wow.
Goskowski?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say Janikowski. I didn't know he did anything still.
I was thinking of him, but I said the wrong.
Oh, God. Goskowski from
Yeah.
New England.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, my stud would have to be, I hate to say it, but I'd have to go with, oh, yeah. That's no big deal. Looking at Julio Jones being hurt, that's no big deal. But my stud would have to be Brandon. What is that? Brandon McNamara or whatever, the kicker for Denver. I mean, granted, he was the only thing. Him and Tucker, you'd have to go simultaneously studs because they were the only thing that did anything in the game. So, who's your dud?
Blair Walsh.
How could I guess that one? I'm going with Blair Walsh.
Yeah, you know, it's
Or you can go with Pittsburgh's kicker, too. I mean,
Yeah.
Washington's kicker. I mean, great. When you're going out and trying to find a season ticket holder to kick for you, you know, it's asking a lot.
yeah, that's terrible.
So, otherwise, pretty good fantasy week. Went out pretty well. Twins make their comeback?
Not yet. They got a runner on second with 1 out.
Who's up the bat, though?
It is, for some reason, my phone is not letting me
No,
know.
they're challenging. That's why. We got a challenge.
Oh, okay, we got a challenge. But what I was laughing about is that Texas Rangers game right now.
What is it,
That-
30-0?
It is 14-3 Rangers in the top of the ninth.
Top of the ninth.
Top of the ninth, and it's 14.
All right, Minnesota got to get that one run. I mean, you get one run when you're half game behind. But, you know, Dallas Keuchel, undefeated at home. He's got a terrible ERA, and he loses a lot of games on the road, so kind of shows it. So, back to football, like we've been talking about, it seems like, for the last hour and a half. It is fall, so, you know, you got to talk football all the time. So, we talked all fantasy. Think another good fantasy week this week. Now it's time to do a little game of predicting the games this week. Previewing our week 2. My predictions, yes, most likely, if my uncle's listening, most likely will be going on my league there that we do. We pick the game, so most of these are probably I'll end up picking for real. So I probably won't change my mind. Well, yeah, I might because I actually am starting to, you know, get to pick my games early on Sundays now. So, week 2, starting with tomorrow night's game, the Denver Broncos at Kansas City taking on the Chiefs. Kansas City is a 3-point favorite. Who do you like in that game, Tyler?
Kansas City.
So, it looks like we're both going Kansas City. I don't know Denver. Denver's, you don't know, they got question marks. Kansas City doesn't right now. So, we both take Kansas City there. Sunday. Monday. I guess everybody's playing Monday, everybody, folks. No. Sunday noon start. We're going to start out with the common one. 0-1 Detroit traveling to 0-1 Minnesota. The game that you will be at, mister. 2.5-point favorites for Minnesota. Who do you got?
Minnesota.
What was that?
Minnesota.
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah.
Yay,
Gophers. That's Gophers, man. We're not taking a go. We both took the Gophers already. I don't know who to take here. It's like a coin flip. Maybe Minnesota with maybe a point. Maybe that's all I'll give them. I gave them 11 last week, and they killed me. Houston traveling over to Carolina. Carolina with a 3.5-point favorites. And if anybody wants to call in and, you know, chime in on their picks, 507-537-6350 is the number. We'd love to hear from you.
Carolina.
They did do some well. But I think Ryan Mallett's going to jump in here and win Houston.
Okay.
I'm going to take Houston. Probably low, but, you know, I like Houston right now. San Francisco traveling to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 6-point favorites. Which I don't know how, but, you know, I'm not Vegas. I don't make this up. So I'm just going by what Vegas has at the line.
I got to go San Fran.
Well, yeah, after watching him destroy the Vikings, yeah, I might wonder why. I don't know. Le'Veon Bell not back again. I think I'm gonna have to go with San Francisco. I think San Francisco's gonna be a team unless Pittsburgh can do something. I don't know. They didn't look good against New England.
No, they didn't.
So, and then, well, this is a pretty easy one. Tampa Bay traveling to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are 10-point favorites. What are you taking? You trusting Jameis? Oh, my. He's thinking, folks. This is just as bad as him predicting the Cleveland Browns that went in the division.
I'm going Tampa Bay.
Oh, my. Everybody, can anybody hear me? Has hell froze over?
I'm going Tampa Bay.
Oh, wow. Tampa Bay, I'm going New Orleans high. I mean, this is probably going to be between a 14 and a 16-pointer. This is going to be a walk in the park. Arizona traveling over to Chicago. Arizona 2-point favorites.
Arizona,
I like Arizona too. I don't know if Chicago's got enough against that defense. Here's a good game, and this one's even. Also a noon start. New England traveling over down the street down to Buffalo to take on the Rex Ryan Buffalo Bills.
2 words. Percy Harvin.
Ooh, whoa.
Buffalo Bills.
Whoa. Buffalo. I like the Buffalo. I like the Buffalo. But Rob Gronkowski is on the other side because I go with Super Bowl champion New England. Sorry, Buffalo. I love you, but, I got to go with New England. It'll be low, but, I like New England. It's going to be a close game. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Cincinnati at home taking on the Chargers of San Diego. Cincinnati 3-point favorites.
Bengals. AJ Green.
Jeez. I've never seen someone be so quick at picking these things. Holy moly, I got to sit and think for a second. Cincinnati. Yeah, I'm going with Cincinnati. I don't think San Diego can repeat. I don't think so, but you never know. Tennessee. 1-0 Marcus Mariota moving on his way down, or actually I should say north to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Stinker Browns, who you think's winning the division. You still think that?
No.
Tennessee is 1-point favorite.
The Browns will not win the division.
Well, no. You said it already. That you got to go with it.
I just couldn't pick between the 3 teams.
Oh, good gosh. You could have picked at least 2 other teams besides Cleveland. Lord.
But
who do you got? You got Mariota going undefeated still? Or do you got Cleveland?
I'm going to go with Cleveland. Mariota is going to have a good game, but I think Johnny Football outduels him.
I don't even know if I can pick this game. That's tough. You got 2 quarterbacks that are the same.
What's your pick?
Hey, don't rush. We still got 11 and a half minutes.
What's your pick?
Hey, don't rush me, man. I'm going to make my pick. Just in case my uncle's listening, because I know if he is, then he's really, calmly thinking about my pick because he knows I can beat him. But, I don't know. Do I go with Cleveland or do I go with Tennessee? You go with Cleveland. I don't pick him to win the division. Like you do. No, I don't go with Cleveland. I'm going to go. I think Mariota's going to go another week undefeated. We'll go Tennessee.
Okay.
I think. That might change by Sunday. We don't know. We'll find that out. You can't change. I can still change. Now, I know that doesn't seem fair, but, I'm in a big money league. The Giants are at home. They return home after a buzzing loss to Dallas to take on the Atlanta Falcons. The Giants are 2.5-point favorites.
I got Eli.
Interesting. I'm going to Atlanta. I don't care if they're on the road. Something special's going on here. St. Louis. The team that beat, Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah, they're on the road at Washington. St. Louis is a 3-point favorite.
You got to go with St. Louis.
I like Washington. Look at that reaction.
Really? You like Washington?
I love Kirk Cousins. No, I absolutely hate Kirk Cousins. No, I got St. Louis. Are you nuts?
Okay.
I like the reaction out of you. What the heck?
I was going to say I might have to reevaluate my host here.
No, I got to reevaluate my co-host taking Cleveland Browns as the freaking division champions. That's like saying, I don't know, I'm going to go play Major League Baseball. It's not going to happen. Thank you. Maybe it might happen, folks. You never know. I doubt it, but you never know. What are you doing, man? Is it that late past your bedtime?
Yes.
Next game here we got Miami going on the road, or really not really on the road, but a little bit on the road. Jacksonville take on the Jags. Miami 6-point favorites.
That's going to be a tiring blowout. I got Miami.
I like a tiring blowout, though, when they're my defense. I got Miami. Big. Baltimore traveling over on the west coast to Oakland. Baltimore is a 6-point favorite. I don't know who to pick here. Tough choice.
I don't either, but the Ravens don't duplicate the blunder they laid on
Heck no.
against the Broncos. I got Baltimore.
You already picked Buffalo, man. You can't pick them more than once. I take Baltimore. I like Baltimore. Always have, always will. I don't know for what reason, but I just do. And then a good game here at 3:20. 3:25 probably most likely. Yeah. Okay, that's just sick, man. Don't do that. 3:25 on Fox. It is the Eagles at home taking on Tony Romo and his Cowboys.
I got the Eagles. Cowboys without Dez. Cowboys are a no-go for me. Eagles.
Cowboys are no-go for you? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You serious?
I'm cereal.
You're cereal. You're cereal. I guess.
That's what I thought.
What the heck are you asking Siri there? You asking Siri a few questions there?
I don't know what happened. I didn't even touch my phone, and she
I
just
know,
started
sometimes
talking.
that does that. It's weird. It's the iPhones. But I'll take. I guess I'm gonna take Philly, but pretty low. I don't know if they're gonna win big, but they're 5-point favorites. And then the Sunday night game on NBC is Green Bay at home taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Green Bay is 3.5-point favorites.
I like the Packers in this game, but I don't see Seattle losing 2 straight. You gotta go with Seattle. Russell Wilson bounces back.
I'll take Seattle. You don't want to know why? Because Marshawn Lynch is going to run for 125 and 3 touchdowns. You hear that? 125 and 3 touchdowns. He's going to win my fantasy week for the week. Yes, sir. Okay, probably not, but, I'll go with Seattle. And then we got Monday Night Football. The Jets travel to Indianapolis, take on the ugly Colts, or what we saw was ugly. Colts are 7-point favorites.
Jets, Jets.
You go ahead, Fireman, whatever his name is. He's back, too, this year.
He
I just
is.
saw that. You're going with the Jets.
Colts were terrible.
As long as T.Y. Hilton's back, I go with Indianapolis. If not, that's going to be one I'll probably change by Sunday, but I'll go Indianapolis if T.Y. Hilton's playing. If he doesn't, then there's, a little question there. Well, we got our picks live, and they didn't score in the 7th inning, I see, or in the 6th inning. But Twins didn't score in the 6th inning. So we got our picks in live, so we'll see how we do come Monday, at least our picks through Sunday, and then, of course, the Monday pick, and then Wednesday we'll recruit that. I don't even know what else to talk about. We're running out. We're down to about 6 minutes or so left. So, what else do you want to talk about? We talk a lot of football.
We can talk about the Vikings.
No, I don't want to talk any more Vikings. You're already throwing TVs, and I don't want you to start throwing, chairs and breaking the door down and stabbing me. I don't want to see it, man.
Your biggest game you're looking forward to this
My
week.
biggest game? I'm going to go with that Dallas-Philadelphia game.
Okay.
I think that's going to be a good game to watch. I have a feeling it's going to be a really good game to watch. I mean, yeah, Green Bay, Seattle, but I still think Washington or not Washington. Jeez, I'm thinking like 4 years ago. Dallas and Philadelphia.
I'll take Green Bay, Seattle. Biggest game you're not looking forward to.
I'm not looking forward to? I mean, does that include watching fantasy? I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but, New Orleans and Tampa Bay. I think New Orleans is going to stop them.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, not that. Actually, I changed my mind because they're both the same type of game. Miami, Jacksonville. Because I don't care about my defense going nuts because that's what's going to happen.
That could be a boring game to watch, unfortunately, for the Jaguars fans,
Is there Jaguar fans even? Or do they just show up?
Oh, they might just show up. I'm not.
Or are they all guests? Or are they all visitor fans, though?
They just acting like Jaguars.
Yeah. I mean, I'd do that. I'd get a free ticket or whatever. I'd act like a Jags fan, but not be a Jags fan.
And I'd go down in the 4th quarter with the game on the line and kick the field goal for them. Sign me up, coach.
I wouldn't trust you. I know I can hit a 35-yarder. So anything inside 35, I'm good. I can still do it. Trust me, I got people that have seen it live, and they know I can kick field goals. It'll be interesting, but I don't know if I can do it again. Well, it looks like Twins are up. It is the bottom of the 7th. Mauer, and we'll have Mauer, Sano, and Plouffe coming up against Verhagen, whoever he is. Some random guy out of Detroit bullpen that maybe I'm on that bullpen for all we know.
He's got a 1.42 ERA.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, and I've had under a 1 ERA before too.
In high school.
No, Legion, a little different.
Same thing.
Hey, you want to know something? I struck out Brad Mathewitz, who was Mr. Minnesota, and was drafted by the Twins.
That's
struck him out on 3 pitches.
That's an interesting feat.
2 fastballs, if you want to call them fastballs, they're like 60 mile an hour, and then a curveball that went like 35.
Okay.
What have you done?
I have
Nothing. That's what I figured.
Wow, are you saying I have no life?
No, yeah. Of course I'm saying that. No, I'm joking. I've had a couple walk-off hits too, and I've hit 1 home run in my life.
One of the big things I've done is I've played football against Philip Nelson, and I got a sack.
You've sacked Philip Nelson?
I sacked Philip Nelson.
No way. No one sacked Philip Nelson.
Granted, he spun around and he kind of landed right into me, but that was...
You want to know one thing? Philip Nelson threw 1 pick in high school.
Yep.
1 pick in high school. Can you name the team he threw the pick to high school?
I cannot name the team.
You cannot name the team. Well, let's just make this easier. I was at the game.
Austin.
You got that right. And I believe we were 0-6 at that point. And hadn't won a game in a year and a half. And he threw a pick. Now, he didn't throw the pick. The wide receiver did. It hit his hands, and our guy ran it back for almost a touchdown, except, Philip Nelson's pretty quick. So, yeah, that was the one time he did that. Do we got any trivia tonight, or we got none tonight?
We have nothing right now.
Nothing yet. We'll get that when we get that set in stone. We'll start having trivia every night, or every night we're live, I should say, not every night. Every night we're live, and we're going to do a new format from the first time we did it. We'll announce the prize that we're giving away. We will not announce the question until after a caller calls in. So if a caller calls in, we'll tell you the question there. If you get it wrong, you don't win the prize. Next caller calls in is a new question every time, so we can't have, extra callers getting that advantage using technology like you are right now.
Yes.
Texting your girlfriend over there.
No, I was actually looking at the Twins.
So am I. I'm watching the Twins right now.
The Twins have got a runner on first.
Yeah, but, Miguel Sano's up.
Uh-oh. Too bad we couldn't have live footage.
No, there's no live footage right now. We could put some live footage on. Maybe. No.
And it's a deep fly ball. Back to center field. I wish.
Is that me hitting?
No.
No. You never know. You never know. You just never know. I mean, see, no outs, and it's an inside pitch. Uh-oh. No outs and an inside pitch. You got to go to Twitter because that's when you know if it's a boom shakalaka or not.
Please, Sano, we need
Sano
this.
doubled down the left field line, and Twins have 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out in the 7th inning.
Well, any Houston Astros fans out there, you better be hoping you get a team because the Twins are coming.
Jeez, that was loud. Well, that's going to do it for tonight. It's pretty much 10 o'clock. We had fun on this show. Hopefully we'll get more of you listeners out there to call in, have some fun with it. We enjoy talking it up and talking sports. So we'll see you guys on Monday. We'll talk more NFL. Of course, Twins. Hopefully the weekend series goes well. And we'll talk some NCAA. So we'll see you all Monday, and have a good evening. This was Sports Live on Mustang Radio.